Alexee Trevizo, the 19-year-old girl that placed her child in a trash can. Even though it's going to be a tough topic, I think it's something that I finally really want to talk about because I've been following the case for a while, so I feel like let's get into it. So we're going to talk about the case, what has happened after, like in between everything with the latest updates. So we're going to take it step by step. I'm Alexee Bradley. Welcome back to my channel. If you're liking this content, subscribe, like. So who is Alexee Trevizo? She's a 19-year-old girl that grew up in Artesia, Mexico. Okay, so she's 19. She's legal age when all this goes down. And she is currently being charged with first-degree murder of her infant son. And also, she's charged with tampering with evidence, which makes sense once I tell you the story. So how did Alexee end up in this position to start with? Well, we all kind of know how she ended up in this position. Before these events, Alexee was, I would say, your just average high school senior. She had a long-term boyfriend named Devin, and she was a cheerleader. Alexee grew up with her stepfather and her mother and another sibling. I think she has one sibling. It seemed as if her father was not in the picture. A couple months prior to her going into labor and delivering her son, people around school were speculating. She was looking much larger in her cheerleading uniform. I don't know how she was able to get that on to be that pregnant for up to 9 months, which is crazy to think about because I was so big, man. I was so big. But her classmates were starting to notice that she was looking a little bit bigger. There were pictures that they posted that were like, she looks pregnant. There were rumors flying around school that she was potentially pregnant. She had noticed that she was gaining weight as well. She actually had seeked out ways to lose weight, but everything kind of came to a head on January 27th. Alexee is attending Artesia High School, and everything's seeming fine, and she starts to have severe back pain. Now, Alexee has always had severe back pain since she was little. Her mother had stated that Alexee's dad physically abused her mother, and ever since then, Alexee has, since I guess birth, has always had back problems, and they come and go, and this time it was really severe to the point that Alexee's mom, Rosa, thought it was best that they go to the hospital. January 26, 2023, and it's moving on to January 27, 2023 at Artesia General Hospital. Alexee enters the hospital at 11:47 p.m., so late in the evening. That's why it shifts over to January 27th. And they're doing a routine check on her. The first things that they ask her is, does she think that she's pregnant? Lower back pain is something that some women experience, and that's their warning that they are having contractions. They're going into labor. Their water might break. I mean, it's a really good sign that things are about to start moving fast and that they might need to go to the hospital. So that is why the professionals asked her, do you think that you're possibly pregnant? I'm assuming since Alexee was with her mother and around professionals, she did not really want to say like, oh, there's a possibility that I could be pregnant. She said, no, there's no way that I could be pregnant. I have never slept with anybody. She also went in and said that she was currently on her period and that her mother even stated that she was still buying Alexee pads. So she had to be on her period. Well, I don't know if Rosa was going to the bathroom with Alexee every time that she had to change her pad, but unless you're physically going to the bathroom with your daughter or checking the trash cans, there's a possibility that she's lying to you. They somewhat take her word for it because they do start giving her medications to help with the pain. But on the flip side, They also decide to still run lab tests to see if she has a positive pregnancy. And some of these medications that she was administered were not to be given to anybody that could potentially be pregnant or is currently pregnant. So they did carry warning signs for them that they could cause a stillbirth. They decided to do all of this about 20 minutes after Alexee had entered the hospital. I'm going to read these off because I'm going to get these wrong. They gave her morphine. They gave her Zofran. They also gave her ketorolac, and ondansetron. Oh my gosh, I don't know. But I could probably spell this for you, but I just am butchering how to say it. And they were giving this morphine drip about every, I want to say 20 minutes maybe. I mean, the morphine was continuing on. At around 12:51 a.m., the lab results did come back that Alexee was pregnant. The problem with it is that when these test results came back, Alexee said that she had to go to the bathroom. So Alexee never, at the time of going to the bathroom, got told that she was pregnant. So they got these results. Alexee's already in the bathroom. Surveillance videos do catch Alexee running to the bathroom, holding her butt, almost like she's afraid something is going to fall out, almost like she has to go number 2 and she's not going to make it to the bathroom because it's just going to fall out of her. I know that's really descriptive and I'm very sorry. That's how it appears in this video. And she locks herself in the bathroom, which is not uncommon. I mean, if I'm going to the bathroom, I'm going to lock the door. So it's locked in the bathroom for about 20 minutes. So not really long, but in this time frame, she ends up giving birth. And that's a pretty quick delivery in my opinion. And I say this because most people can labor for a very long time. So she probably was in active labor and was laboring before she got to the hospital. And that baby was on its way out of her. I don't even know if her water broke. I didn't really hear anything or any information if her water broke or not. So I'm not really sure. But it is kind of crazy that she didn't have any signs besides the lower back pain, but she was able to know that she needed to run to the bathroom because something was about to happen. So at 12:51, they do these lab results and they get the positive pregnancy test. The time that Alexee entered the bathroom was 1:39 a.m., especially even though she was on morphine. She didn't have a complete epidural or anything. She was able to physically walk up and go to the bathroom. So she might have been disoriented, but she wasn't at the point that you are with an epidural. But her mom, Rosa, goes to check on her at 1:40 a.m. Like right after she went to the bathroom, she goes and checks on her. And then again at 1:49 a.m. And then approximately about 1:53 a.m. and 1:56 a.m., an ER staff member checks on her as well. So people are becoming concerned. And then eventually one of the staff members is like, girl, you got to get out of the bathroom. Why are you taking so long? And in the meantime, Alexee is literally delivering in a bathroom by herself in a hospital where she could get help. She is trying to hide everything, freaking out, I'm sure, delivering in this child. And when the child was delivered, she had to pull the baby out of her and she had to unconnect the umbilical cord, which is crazy to think about. I've seen a baby, well, I haven't really seen a baby physically come out of me, but I've seen a baby in front of me and I've seen the cord, but like I didn't see it from my husband's point of view. But this is very graphic. She would have had to find some way to get that umbilical cord off and unattached to her, which meant that she probably used her teeth. She probably used some form of her mouth to take it off, unless she took something with her to the bathroom, which I didn't find, or she had something in the bathroom that was able to cut that cord. But this girl, we all have to wrap our brains around this. This is crazy, isn't it? This girl, and girls that have done this before without anyone knowing, are able to give birth, pull out a child, take off that umbilical cord, and then have enough time to try to wipe the bathroom down to clean up her mess. She was trying to clean it up. And then she takes the liner from the trash can, she pulls it out, she wraps her baby up, she places her baby in the trash can, she grabs a new liner and she places it on top of that child. She was able to think, clean up my mess, pull this kid out of me, get rid of the umbilical cord, I need to wrap this child up, I need to take out the trash bag that's full, because they might go looking in there. I need to put the child wrap the child up, put him at the base of the trash can, and try to hide it with a new liner. And then I need to get out of the bathroom because they're asking me where I'm at. Okay, so one of the triage nurses, Chris, was one of the staff members that checked on Alexee while she was in the bathroom. The reason being is because by that time, they did realize that Alexee was pregnant and she was taking a really long time in the bathroom. So they were concerned that something was taking place in the bathroom, and they definitely wanted to make sure that what was happening wasn't injuring herself or the baby. So when she goes to leave the bathroom, because obviously she notices that the staff are checking on her and she knows that she's taking a long time. And by that time, Alexee knows what has happened. But instead of alerting anybody or saying anything, she just casually opens the door finally and she just leaves, walks and heads back to her room. In the meantime, the triage nurse, Chris, looks into the bathroom and realizes it's like a massacre. There's blood on the floors, there's blood on the walls, and he doesn't see a baby inside. He turns around to ask her, "Are you okay?" And she casually turns back around and says, "I'm fine, I'm just on my period." She really didn't think this through. I don't know what she thought, but a period doesn't cause that big of a mess. But she's in a hospital and she thinks that she's just going to be able to birth this child, hide it, say she's on her period, and get away with it. I just can't wrap my brain about what was going through her mind. This is a hospital that you're able to have a child and drop it off at the hospital anonymously. She probably didn't know that. And maybe we need to be more educated on hospitals that allow you to drop off an infant and they will take it from there, because it's just sad that she didn't think that there was other options, but also that I don't know what she thought would happen if she tried to hide it either, because we all kind of know that if you try to hide something, eventually everything comes out. Anyways, I digress. Obviously, after the triage nurse saw the mess in the bathroom, he called the housekeeper, Dia, to come down and clean. But the housekeeper goes into the bathroom to clean it up, and obviously, after seeing the bathroom, the nursing staff is concerned that Alexee has miscarried. But she walked out of the bathroom so nonchalantly and back to her room that someone that just miscarried isn't giving much away that something occurred in that bathroom. So they're kind of having to go digging for information after she's left the bathroom to figure out what happened. So the housekeeper is describing it to the police officers like this. She stated in her interview that it was gory, a bloody massacre, and a mess. She said that she had to clean the bathroom twice. She initially looked in the trash can And because Alexee had put a clean liner over top of the baby that she put at the bottom of the trash can to hide, that she didn't notice that anything had happened. She didn't notice that there would be a baby in the trash can. But when she went to lift the trash can, that's when she realized it was too heavy for the amount of trash that was in it. And when she lifted up that liner, she discovered the baby. And she immediately called for doctors and nurses to come take a look at the infant. And when the doctors and nurses got over there, they realized there wasn't much that they could do to save this infant because, like the housekeeper had noted in her statement, the infant was pink and purple. The housekeeper also stated that in her interview, she said discovering the infant really traumatized her. She had lost her partner to suicide. The nursing staff had been obviously concerned while she was in the bathroom. Alexee was in the bathroom initially because they kept hearing her flush the toilet. Constantly she was flushing the toilet. They even stated after Alexee left the bathroom and they discovered everything that the umbilical cord looked like an animal had tore through it. They pretty much knew when they got a hold of the infant that the infant was already deceased, but they still took it to the operating room. They still tried to perform life-saving measures to then confirm that the baby had passed. The baby was confirmed deceased at 2:38 a.m. Very, very sad. And while all of this is going on, Miss Trevizo is back in her hospital bed with her mother, just hanging out. All the while, medical staff is contacting authorities because they know that Miss Trevizo tried to hide this infant. They believe that the child was deceased because of harm that Miss Trevizo caused the baby. That is what they are thinking. So they are calling officers because they feel like they now need to get involved to evaluate the situation and see what they're going to do moving forward with Mr. Trevizo. But I do know that before they confronted Miss Trevizo, everybody was basically brought into the loop before the officers go in and talk to Mrs. Trevizo. So when police officers arrive, they are wearing a body cam, and you see a medical staff, a nurse, talking to officers about the current situation. The nurse even states, "I think that she had a hand in killing her infant son." So I will play that video for you.
You can interview the nurse that had her, okay, the two nurses that were taking care of her. You can talk to the tech, which is Lori. She's the one that went in there and actually found it because Lito's like, this is really heavy. Okay. So then Lori went in there, and then of course the baby was underneath the clean liner.
Okay. Yeah. If we can speak with Lori, that
okay. I'll get Lori, and I'll
So officer, the first thing though is I need to make sure that the mother, the woman who delivered the baby, is medically stable.
Right.
I don't know if she delivered a placenta. She's bleeding a lot. I just got her accepted to Loveless, okay. So I need to get her up there as soon as possible. Okay. To tell the mother what's going. The mother, they're both in there together. Is one of you willing to be present for that conversation?
And I'll go in there.
Are you guys going? Yeah. Okay, let's go in right now and do this. I'm sorry, there's we discovered a dead baby in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. He came out at me and I didn't know what to do.
Lexi, I told you about this.
But it
I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
scared. It was not crying or nothing.
What did you do to it?
Okay, stop right here.
I
Stop.
just
Stop. Number one priority, guys. Number one priority she just had a baby. I don't know if she's delivered the placenta. She's bleeding significantly.
Yeah.
I've spoken to the obstetrician at Loveless. They want her up there as soon as possible.
Okay.
Obviously need your permission to transfer her for medicals. She needs to
She's
be
19.
Oh, you're right.
But she is a student too.
She's still 19 years
you're
old.
right. You're right. She needs to. I'm sorry, I forgot she's 19.
Keep having me.
But you need to make sure that you're safe. I need to send you to Loveless to labor and delivery. I'm sorry about this, but in terms of delivering a baby and it looked like you tried to hide it, we do have to have the police involved.
And that thing was crying. It came out with nothing.
I know. But the baby's gonna have to be taken for autopsy and there'll be an investigator and everything. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But we need to do this correctly. And I want to be transparent with you about what our steps are gonna be. Okay. Officer, do you guys need to talk to her before we get her transferred?
How long is it gonna be before you have to transfer
I
out?
don't know. Are we working on
Okay.
Marina,
So-
do you think 20, 30 minutes?
Yeah, hopefully, yes.
Okay.
I got detectives on the way, so they're gonna be talking to her.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you guys have, I'm the charge nurse here, do you guys have any questions for me?
Like how big is the baby?
It's full term.
What? 9 months?
Nothing was crying.
The charge nurse, we're still getting all the information right now. Okay. Once we get that information, like I said, the detectives, they can clue you in on everything and talk to you more about it.
Okay.
All right.
Where did you put the baby at? Tell me the truth.
When we got in there,
517.
In the toilet?
back. It was crying.
You put it in the bag?
Yes.
Yeah.
In what bag?
It was bad.
Why didn't you say anything to us? Do you want to get in trouble for this now? You could get in trouble for
Mom,
this baby.
I know you're scared. I know everything else. Okay. As of right now, I cannot allow your mom to be here with you. Okay. So once the detectives get here, then she may be able to come back in here. But as of right now, I can't allow her to be back in here. Okay. Your mom? Well, not yet. But I can't allow her to come back in here yet.
So when they get here,
Yeah. Once they get here, then it's up to the detectives. They can ask them if she can come back here. If they're okay with her coming back here, then she can come back here. Okay.
This is giving us permission to transfer you to Loveless.
She had the baby with the full baby.
Right.
She's still in there. She's gonna get airlifted out, transferred out because she's still whatever she's got going on or whatever. So they're gonna transfer her out. The housekeeper, I didn't talk to her too much. Just got a brief statement from her, got her information, and then the nurse that actually went in there and got the baby and opened the bag, and then they rushed her into the baby into trauma 1, and that's when they started working. The baby was regained. So I got the bathroom closed off, and then I got the trauma room closed off because the trauma room, the housekeeper went in there because they called her to go clean it up. So obviously before she checked the trash can, she cleaned everything up. When she threw everything in the trash can, she looked it up, felt it was heavy, put it down. When she looked in there, that's when she saw the baby tears. Right now, yeah. So then they took obviously the baby in the trash can, trauma 1, put the baby on the table, and then that's whenever they everything there.
I'll take it away.
But other than that, so I got both of those closed off. Well, see, she was cleaning it up first, so she was in there. So she said she actually we were here because one of our other guys arrested her, and she said, hey, she needs to go to the bathroom. And so they had her go to the bathroom. About 10 minutes later, they went to knock on the door, but she didn't come out. So they're like, hey, are you okay? Check on her. She's like, yeah. Didn't want to come out, didn't want to come out. Gave her another, I guess, 10 minutes. And then they said, we're going to open the door. And then when she opened the door, there was blood and shit everywhere. So they called housekeeping. They didn't know the baby was in the truck.
The baby's still here?
Yeah, they're still trauma 1. That's why I had
Probably
her
need to
closed
go get
off.
blood vision and stuff out of the truck.
But yeah, like I said, the housekeeper cleaned up the floor and everything first. And then when she put all her stuff, into the trash can. That's when she felt how heavy it was. And then she looked into it. That's when she saw the baby.
You said you're looking for someone to talk to your mom?
Yes.
Okay.
Can not tell her where I'm going?
Yeah, no, she already knows. Detective.
Is she going?
Yeah, she should be. The detective's up there talking with her.
Lexi, have you watched the news of the girls that what they do to their babies and what they go to jail?
I was crying.
Other questions? Okay.
So as of right now, like I said, is we're gonna have the detectives come over here and they're gonna talk to you, okay? We have to gather some more information about what's going on. They'll get your statement, they're gonna get the doctor's statements, they're gonna get everybody's statements, okay? So I don't know everything yet, okay? So I'm not gonna tell you, I can't tell you nothing honestly, okay? All I can say is,
Gonna go to jail.
right now she's being detained. So she's not gonna leave from here at all, period. She's not under arrest, but she is detained, okay? She's not free to leave.
Clearly, the mom is like, oh my gosh, what have you done? A part of me is just shocked that the mom wasn't like more aggressively angry and mad. She kept her composure pretty well in discovering that her daughter not only carried a child to full term, because she looked shocked that the child was full term. I would have been just so angry at my daughter. I would have been so mad at her and disappointed. I think I would have been so disappointed in her too. Like, not only did I would have felt like I raised a better daughter, that even when you make poor decisions, that you can come to me and that you feel comfortable enough to tell the truth and you don't try to hide something and you take full responsibility for actions. And if you didn't know you were pregnant, when you found out you were while we're in this hospital, that you would have ran for help or called me or did something to try the right measures to save this infant, even if you felt like it wasn't alive, that you would have done everything you can to save a human life. And I would have been really sad that potentially my daughter killed her baby. I would have been so sad. But I have to remember that everybody's reaction is always different, especially she knew she was around authorities. I'm sure she took that into account, knows that they probably were body cam footage. I'm sure that all came up in her mind was like, or she was just in a state of shock and she didn't really react the way I thought she should have. Who knows? Who really knows how she reacted after the fact and how she handled her daughter afterwards. Also, I want to say Alexee Trevizo. I felt like Alexee Trevizo looked scared, not remorseful. She looked scared of what was about to happen. Like she did not think that there were going to be any consequences to her actions. She is going to have to be responsible for the actions that she bestowed on this child, for the choices that she made in that bathroom when she didn't ask for any help and she tried to hide it. It makes you look guilty and not innocent when you hide it, leave the bathroom and don't tell anybody. And you are completely disconnected to something that you held for 9 months in your body and you birthed in a bathroom and you threw it away in the trash can. There's just some people in this world that no matter how much of a state of shock that they are in, they would just not do what she did. Let's play devil's advocate though here. She could have potentially had some postpartum and freaked out. Hormones are raging. She is on a couple of medications at the time. Maybe it all messed with her and she freaked out. She didn't know what to do, so she threw it away. But it just doesn't seem right. I'm not trying to be mean. This girl is young. The fact that she was able to go back to her hospital bed and say nothing, just say nothing. It just, you've got to have something mental going on in your mind. What was she so afraid of? Was she afraid of responsibility for the choices that she made? Well, unfortunately, sometimes this is life. Life is hard. Life isn't always out for your best interest. Life doesn't owe you anything, but you owed something to your son. I just think from my perspective, the mom seems to have very much coddled the daughter, so reliant on you doing everything that when she makes a mistake, she's so frightened to tell you or do the right thing that she makes the wrong choices. She has a lot to learn, in my opinion. The doctor, after this interaction, the doctor has to tell Alexee that You have not delivered the placenta and you are still excessively bleeding, and we're going to have to fly you to another hospital to deliver the placenta. And there is an autopsy performed on the infant to see what the cause of death was. But before we discuss this, we have to go into a discussion about drugs that were administered when she arrived at the hospital, what time they were administered, what drugs that she received and medications that she received, and if those could potentially be harmful in any type of way in the third trimester and while giving birth. Would they contribute to the infant dying after being born? And we'll discuss at the end what her attorney is saying and what he's probably going to use as a defense for her. Let's talk about them. I'm going to have to read these off because I don't have them memorized. On January 27, 2023 at 12:18 a.m., Trevizo is given cyclobenzaprine and acetaminophen. We all know acetaminophen is Tylenol. It is okay and safe to take while pregnant. I don't know about cyclobenzapine. At 12:28 a.m., she is given sodium chloride, ketorolac, ondansetron, and morphine sulfate. All of this is administered through an IV. Then that's when they decide to send out for labs, and the pregnancy serum test is given. And we already discussed the bathroom timeline, so we're not going to go there right now. The pregnancy results come back at 12:51 a.m. Her attorney did state that they continued to give her these medications after they knew about the pregnancy results. The baby's toxicology report indicates that the baby did have the morphine and other drugs in its system. I also read that it had the weight loss drug that she was taking to lose weight. I saw it on some report, not on all the reports. The medical examiner reports that the infant's cause of death to be entrapment and the manner of death homicide. The examiner said that the baby died shortly after birth, but that the baby had air found in its lungs and stomach, which means the baby was born alive. There was also evidence of a hemorrhage consistent with hypoxia. So hemorrhage consistent with hypoxia meant that she could have potentially strangled the child, causing it to no longer breathe. But with airflow being in the lungs, it indicates that the baby was born alive. Trevizo initially was allowed to go home. So that's what she did. She was not under arrest until the autopsy of the baby came back. That is when she was arrested, which was on May 10th, and her bail was set at $100,000, which they did go ahead and bail her out. Now, before I proceed further, let's see, can you take the drugs that Alexee took while she was pregnant? I want to start this off. This is not medically in a background situation to discuss. This is just like my thoughts. My thoughts and opinions are this. There are people that walk into a hospital on other drugs. There are people that give birth while taking drugs their entire pregnancy and have perfectly healthy babies. So I know that she was taking these drugs, but it was at the end of her third trimester. I have to question how much damage that they can do, just because my whole thought process is there are people that give birth to children every single day that are literally on drugs the entire pregnancy, and somehow these babies come out healthy as a horse. Everybody is different, but like I said, people can have complications. And I know that I've read that some women have morphine and even nitrous oxide when they were giving birth. We're just going to talk about morphine. I'm not really sure about the other drugs, but opioids can help your entire body feel less pain. This is only one article. It says that opioids commonly used in childbirth include morphine and fentanyl. Morphine is usually used in the early stages of labor. If used too close to delivery, it can cause temporary breathing and heart rate problems in your baby after birth. So that's probably what the lawyer is going to go with. In the early stages of labor, though, it can be helpful. But he's probably discovered that if it's too close to delivery, which how would they have known it was too close to delivery? Because they just got that test back. They didn't probably know that she was in active labor. But it can cause temporary breathing and heart rate problems. So maybe the baby wasn't breathing accurately when it came out of her, but that doesn't mean that the baby couldn't have survived either. It doesn't say that it's going to cause the baby to pass away. I think that a doctor could easily go on the opposing side, and if a doctor comes up to plead, might say that most likely it still wouldn't have come out stillborn and it wouldn't have come out with not breathing. But that's the first article that I read. So there might be more out there. So if you're a medical professional and you think that there is a possibility that the defense could win by using this argument, let us know in the comments below. Let's move forward. Prosecutors fought against her pre-trial release. They really fought against it, but the judge allowed it. When I'm about to tell you how much the judge allowed this girl to get away with, I think it's crazy. I don't know why that she got good behavior or was allowed to do, I feel like, more than most people would do, because she is being charged with first-degree murder and tampering with a body and evidence. 3 months later, Trevizo is found going to prom with Devin. Devin is the baby daddy of the infant son that she did name Alex. She went to prom with him. She was allowed to go to prom with him. Trevizo had also planned on attending graduation. Nowhere did it state that she had any kind of remorse after everything that had tragically happened to her infant son. She didn't read any articles where she was going to seek therapy, seek help, was on medication, had postpartum issues. I haven't really seen her cry in any videos, interviews, nothing. I have yet to have seen anything that made me go, man, she feels really bad for what she did. And I find it disgusting that she is smiling in a photo with her boyfriend 3 months after putting her infant son into a trash can. I wouldn't have wanted to attend any of that. I wouldn't have wanted to endure what people were saying about me behind my back, what people were thinking about me, and the judgment that she already knew that she was receiving online. I would have just not wanted to go back. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to do that. And also, why isn't Devin upset about all this? Like, he's just like, yeah, we'll stay together. I believe her. We're good. I mean, he even visited her in the hospital after she gave birth. But even though she wanted to attend her high school graduation, she didn't get to because they did not allow her. I did want to mention that I said earlier in the video that I felt like her mom coddled her. But there is a video of her going to school, and she is upset that the principal, I'm assuming the principal of the school, is allowing so much information to be broadcasted about her daughter. And she is trying to get people to stop talking about it and to stop showing it online. She is concerned because she was trying to hide it from people finding out that her daughter was supposedly the reason why her infant son died, because she threw it away in a trash can. But the principal stated, there's nothing I can do. I can't stop people from what they're saying about her. She's 19 years old. That's why everything was released, because she was over the age of 18. She hid something that is a human life that people cherish. People wait so many years sometimes to get pregnant and have a baby. She threw something that people find to be the best thing that ever happened to them in a trash can. But the judge gets better. She also was allowed by the judge to go to Texas to spend time with her grandparents because that was already pre-planned. And she is also allowed to go on to attend college as well. All this is okay before her trial. She probably has some restrictions, I'm assuming. And even at her pre-trial hearing, she was even allowed to finally talk to Devin, because at one point they weren't allowing them to talk because they didn't want them to talk about what had happened, the case, the hearing. Also, one of the state attorneys was concerned that if they had any kind of contact, that they could potentially wind up in this situation again. The judge ruled that she could attend New Mexico State University. But people that attended the school were not very happy. And at one point, she had stated that she wanted to study nursing and social work as well. At the school, they started a petition. Students signed the petition. I think there was 25,000 to 35,000 that signed this petitiononchange.org, and it appeared online after her hearing that she had this hearing that allowed her to attend school. So I think it took place in August, this hearing. So a couple of days afterwards, this petition comes out, and this petition says this: "We are concerned citizens of New Mexico call upon the authorities and educational institutions to take immediate action to prevent Alexee Trevizo from pursuing a career in nursing or social work or any field of education. Trevizo is currently not pursuing these fields of study," and the author of the petition is Evelyn. She is 26 years old and she lives in Bellflower, California. She said, "By denying Alexee Trevizo entry into New Mexico State University or any other educational institution within our state, we can prioritize public and ethical safety standards." She said that the school could remedy this by reconsidering her admissions, implement stricter background checks and screening before processing for individuals seeking entry into these professions, ensuring the safety of vulnerable populations, collaborate with the local law enforcement agencies to ensure individuals charged with violent crimes against children are not permitted to careers. Alexee is enrolled currently in classes, but she has to take them online. So what is Alexee Trevizo's attorney going to say in court? Let's go on to this. Her attorney, which we pretty much already stated earlier, is stating that the morphine is the reason why the baby was not breathing. He thinks it's the most contributing factor. And that the drugs that were administered by the hospital after her arrival and the hospital medical professionals, that they had failed her because they failed to respond to the positive pregnancy test by continuing to give her these drugs after knowing that she was pregnant. Also, they failed by giving her these drugs prior to taking the pregnancy test in the first place. He thinks that giving her morphine and other drugs prevented this baby from living after being birthed, especially because they were administered through an IV. Mitchell is her attorney. He said the baby could have maybe taken a couple of breaths, and that's why it's showing up that the baby was potentially alive when it was birthed, but that it didn't live much longer after that. He truly believes that the baby was born dead. And he says that the morphine is the critical component as to why the baby never breathed properly, which we did read that morphine can cause breathing and heart problems if administered right when you're about to give birth. He also filed a suit against authorities and the hospital administration and staff for violating HIPAA laws. The suit claims that the hospital was wrong to allow officers to have body cam footage on them when entering the room, and were wrong in allowing them to record personal and private information, that the patient should have been protected by HIPAA laws, by New Mexico Constitution law, rules, statutes, and regulations. The video records, lab results should have never been released to the public, and her attorney says that she is constantly harassed, that she receives phone calls all of the time, that social media has been vicious, and that she is fearful of her life some days. In my personal opinion, when you commit something as heinous as she did, or you do something wrong, and it is broadcast on social media, they will come for you. In my opinion, I think regardless, she should have something brought up against her. She did not do anything right in this situation. Do I think she's going to get life imprisonment and first-degree murder? I don't know. Do I think that she needs something, though? Yes. I think it would teach her a lot, and she would learn from her mistakes. But her trial is set for August of 2024, so this year, and we'll see what the judge rules in. But what do you guys think about this story? What is your opinion? Do you think that she deserves jail time? Do you think that she deserves life in prison? Do you think she deserves first-degree murder? Do you think that she knew what she was doing? Why do you think that she did it in the first place? Why didn't she tell anybody? Why did she throw her baby away? I don't know what happened, but this whole story is awful to me. It's awful. I pray for the outcome that will serve best and that will teach this girl how to do better in life. Who knows? I just think after everything I read, I think the baby was alive. And I hope that everybody has a good week. This was a really tough video. All right. I love you guys. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.